Hello everybody, this is Briefcase here again, bringing you another game from the Dota2Castit subreddit over there on Reddit. This one is for KatanaSoul, but I'm not sure exactly who he is in this game because he doesn't have the same name as he did on Reddit. Not like the other guy, I can't remember his name right now. But either way, here we are again, getting out the cobwebs. It's been quite a long time for me, 4 months, so I'm just gonna keep doing them. As many good ones from Dota2Castit as I possibly can. This one supposedly is pretty nice, so I'm hoping it'll give us some pretty good action to talk about, and we'll go from there. But overall, I'm just happy to be casting again, guys. So obviously, so far we got our Invoker, which I'm always happy to see in a game. Always makes for exciting games with the huge amount of possibilities, obviously, that you get by having all of those spells available to you. Not only that, I've been trying to learn how to play Invoker lately, and I think I'm up to my 12th game, and it's really not too bad. It's a ton of fun, and at the very beginning you're pretty terrible, but overall it's, I don't know, it's just really enjoyable. And but so far, just some pretty not even that interesting of heroes, more standard. You got your life stealer. He's picked all the time, one of the strongest carries in the game, obviously. Kunkka though, really nice pick. Always happy to see him get played, or not even a pick. Looks like he was randomed, which is always, I'm just always happy to see randoms, I gotta admit. Invoker going for a little bit of an uncharacteristic Invoker mid. You don't see a lot of magic stick on Invoker, just because you don't really need to. I mean, obviously, if there was against a bat, sure, that'd be perfect. But I suppose he automatically thinks he's going to be going up against Zeus, which, I mean, Magic Stick obviously is quite good against Zeus. And he'll be right, just because he'll be spamming Arc Lightning pretty much every chance he gets just to get those last hits. And really, that's a really good item to get against somebody who spams abilities. It looks like maybe a little bit of contention mid. Maybe Timbersaw thinks he's going there. Has gotten Whirling Death instead of Timber Chain or Reactive Armor, so we'll see. But overall, now that the game's starting, let's get into the introductions of people. You got Chaos Ownage as Invoker. You got Charmander as Dazzle. You got Javiho as Lifestealer. You got Mi Primo El Gordo Nepe as Darkseer. And then you think you have, I want to say, his friend, Mi Primo Sin Nepe as Timbersaw. Subclub is Abaddon. Sad Onion is Weaver. You got a bunch of boxes as Zeus. You got February 7th as Doom, and Kunkka with only 4 boxes. Not quite as many boxes as Pink, and that's A-okay. So far, Zeus has not used any Arc Lightning yet. Doesn't really need to. Let me get up the last hits real quick, and we can get a much better picture of who's doing better in the hitting phase, in the lasting phase, and the laning phase, and all that. Kunkka getting Whirling Death up top. Nothing too much is going to be happening up there unless Doom can happen to eat probably a troll. I don't even think that getting a Centaur is really going to do much. Downstairs, though, we got Javiho and Dazzle. It's like the lane's going to push up a little bit with those Dazzle nukes and those Dazzle heals coming out. Obviously, going to help their creeps not die, whilst also killing the other creeps. Going to make it a bit quicker. Kunkka, though, is doing some very nice last hitting. Of course, he is solo against the Timber, and he doesn't have the best. Timber does not have the best lane here. Obviously, just because, yes, Reactive Armor is really good, but it really doesn't do goddamn anything against Tidebringer when it comes right down to it. And in mid, we got Invoker with a very sad 2. Zeus isn't doing too much better, though. He's only got 4 at the moment. Invoker is leading with denies, and now picking it up just a smidge more. Has opted to not get Cold Snap early and not going to go for that early harass that Cold Snap really gives you. Dazzle doing the double pull down bottom. I'm not sure if they even did block it with a ward. They probably did, but it looks like Dazzle did indeed find it. And now it just looks like Subclub trying to leech as much experience as possible. But something that's interesting is that if one of your creeps actually kills one of the neutrals, absolutely no experience goes to the enemy team, even if they are within range. Chaos Ownage still here. He's got Sunstrike available if anybody does overextend. Doesn't look like that's really happening too much, though. And now an Invisibility Rune has popped up top. It doesn't look like anybody has Bottle yet, though. Zeus doesn't have it yet. And Invoker is very close, but you usually don't see a lot of bottles on Invoker. Abaddon now is running around. That, of course, is going to get spotted out by Charmander. and just not a particularly good ward. Timbersaw, though, now taking out Kunkka for free. That is an easy get. Ouch. You have your safe lane Kunkka against a Timbersaw and you're losing it. That is not where you want to be. Doom does have Ensnare available, but he doesn't have the mana for it at the moment. Dazzle is doing fine, along with Javiho. Very, very good sustain in this lane, obviously. You got Lifestealer, who will simply just regen all the health he could ever want. But, I mean, Weaver Abaddon is a very, very good lane. You can pressure all the while because of this this shield that explodes, obviously does damage. You have the ability to pretty much dive anywhere you want because of shield, as well as Sakuchi. Makes it very, very easy. And now it looks like Zeus did get his bottle, is going to be picking up the invisibility. And with level 2 lightning, it's not level 3. Level 3 is where the damage up is really, really huge. It's a free 100. But he does know that he's got all the regen in the world, and Invoker does have 9 magic stick charges, but it's probably not going to be enough. And all the while, Timbersaw is running up top. And, oh, there's the Sunstrike. Timbersaw did not want to go for it. If he had been, though, if he had been a little bit more ballsy, he might have been able to get it. But I don't think he had the mana until now to do this combo. Timber Chain and Whirling Death. He really still wants to go in, though. Chaos Onage, I'm not sure what he's building up yet. Does not have Cold Snap, can't really do anything. And now if Zeus just ran up to the high ground, he's probably going to look for a way to not be seen when he pops this invisibility. If he can pop it, get a cast, or pop the invisibility, as well as get bottle charge in at the same time. Oh, and a Sunstrike missing, not doing its best, but that's a-okay. Kunkka trying to harass Timber as much as possible, but Timber doing the harassing, generally speaking. And now he's looking for a kill, but oh, sadly for him, Chaos Onage has indeed used his flask to get back up to full health. Overall, though, I mean, in favor of Invoker, oddly enough, mid. He is last hitting better. He's got 5 more. He's got only 2 more denies. Not seeing too many denies even in the very high bracket, but that's a-okay. It looks like Timber now charging right in to get Kunkka. Kunkka misses the Torrent, and it doesn't matter, though. Doom is here. His Thunderclap doesn't hit and doesn't slow him, and with that, Timber is off to an early lead solo with 2 kills. Zeus looks like he's diving. Did indeed dive Invoker. Doesn't matter, though. Had a flask on the way just to get that regen back up, and looks like El Primo El Gordo Nepe was there to help him secure the kill. And Zeus now he's going to be so far behind in mid. Not a good place to be at all. Javiho is doing fine bottom. He's actually got more last hits than Weaver, or, of course, Abaddon because he's supporting. But Dazzle with 8 last hits himself, oddly enough. Usually don't expect to see that often. He's actually farming fairly well for support. Sad Onion, though, just not having the best of times, in all honesty. Kunkka now up top. He is doing fine as well. Overall, it just looks like Radiant is just out farming the Dire team through leaps and bounds on pretty much every single person. Jungle DS, of course, is doing fine, just fine. And it wouldn't have been too good against Kunkka. Kunkka has a very strong, obviously, Tidebringer attack that can dispatch creeps pretty quickly, so usually the Ion Shells don't last too long up there. Javihu now does have his Fade Boots, indeed. Darkseer did pick up the regen, just making sure that Zeus couldn't get it. Chaos Onage does now have Cold Snap and Chaos Meteor. Jeez, that is an incredibly early Wex. You usually do not see that early. And Zeus going for it. Won't get it in time, though. Does not have the burst. Didn't have the mana to support it either. And now Chaos Onage has gone straight for a Midas. No boots. No nothing. Just wants that Midas. He's going to pick it up. Hopefully use it on one of these creeps before he goes to base, just to pick up that extra experience. And will that pop him over 9? I'm not sure. There it is. Nope, gets him halfway there, but it's not the end of it. Sad Onion is down here, just looking to see if he can't get Javiho, and with no creeps in sight, Javiho is in danger of dying. But with this, he's gonna get a free full life. He's gonna get a bunch of money for free, and it looks like they did pick off Dazzle. If I check the baby, which one is it? Which hotkey is it? I'll find it. There's gotta be a way. Is it kills death? Oh no, it's not helpful. Who got the last killed? Weaver gets the kill on Dazzle. There we go. Okay, sweet. Back to the last hits, though. Darkseer doing, of course, very well. He's going to get that early mech, I suspect. Does have a Ring of Protection, in fact. Odd that he didn't put it on himself. Would have saved himself a little bit of life, but it's not the end of the world, obviously. Charmander is doing fine. Sad Onion, he does not have the farm he wants. He's at 28. Lifesteal is at 30. It's not too bad, honestly. But I don't know. Usually I like to see Weaver with a bit more than that. Chaos Orange is doing fine. I'm a little interested in this early Wex, though. I suppose I like it. Gives you more utility if you get into something a little bit too hairy. You can always Ghost Walk out in this early on, especially against a lineup that doesn't have any inherent invisibility. That Ghost Walk will most likely save your life if it ever comes to it. And now it looks like Kunkka picking up his boots. He's getting, that's about it, Abaddon. And now they've rotated mid. And it just looks like Timbersaw was a little bit out of position there. Did they have a net? More likely than not, did net him, and that was that Zeus ult along with the lightning bolts just to guarantee those kills. Chaos Orange opting to not leave lane, wanting that gold and experience instead of going and getting a big creep, but that's fine. Oh, there it is. You got your Chaos Meteor, you got your Cold Snap, and just doing a huge amount of damage to Abaddon. Looks like his ult was not down, or up, I should say. And more likely than not, he's not even level 6 yet, I suspect. Being a support bot. How is Javiho's... Charmander is not either. Javiho does not have Infest, might be getting chased down by Sad Onion. If they could get a Tornin, does get surged away, though. And now... in comes Timbersaw, and oh, the tides have turned. Kunkka just out of position a little bit. Sad Onion does have time lapse if things get a little bit hairy. But I mean, if they did get a stun off on him, it could be possible. He is a pretty weak little hero there. Subclub is not level 6, still very, very in danger now. He's not the big bad Abaddon with the ult that he wants to be. Zeus is farming top fairly well. He's getting the last hits, but not all of them, really. Darkseer, of course, doing very well. And now the fight still continues. Subclub's ult has popped now. He needs to be far more careful for 60 seconds at least. And Javiho is just trying to farm the jungle now, picking up any little bit of farm that he ever can, and probably just waiting for Infest to go off so he can get that full life again. That's one of the reasons that Lifestealer is just such a strong carry, is that as soon as he does get low life, or he can dive towers, and all he has to do is just jump into an enemy creep, which, I mean, obviously you can't kill or deny until they get to at least half health. Now Charmander trying to pick up a few last hits, if he ever can. He's not having the best time at it, but, I mean, every little bit helps. He's doing much, much better than Abaddon. He's 5 times the amount of last hits. And now it looks like the Dire team trying very, very hard to shut down Chaos Ownage. February 7th does have net, and Doom does not have the mana to eat both, though. And I think Chaos Ownage, he just knows that they're there and just wants to be very, very careful. Has opted to get a bottle. I don't usually see this on Invokers, and especially myself, but now it looks like he's a little bit out of position. If he can get that net, opted to Doom him instead. Obviously, he can't run away too well. Is going to fall. It looks like Doom will definitely get him. Zeus getting shot up by the tower does not matter at all, though. And now, looks like Sad Onion chasing Javiho. Does, oh, a very nice shallow grave. Those really, really slow Geminate attacks, though, very, very close to get him. And now they must know that he is down here. And Sad Onion must just be looking for it. He does have the heal, does pop the heal, does not have the mana for time lapse, has to pop his wand just to get it. But very nice dive by Sad Onion, not getting any kills, but also not giving anything up. Timber now chasing around Kunkka like a madman, does have Timber Chain, has enough for one more Whirling Death and a Timber Chain and a... Oh, is he going to fall? Is he going to get Kunkka? The boat does miss, and Kunkka is just playing Ring Around the Rosie there, around the tower, and not getting anything for it. I wonder... No, he does not have a strong enough Sunstrike to really take him out. Sad Onion, seeing if he maybe can't get a rune. It's not there for a little while. And a little bit of Spanish coming out. Oh, yeah. I'm sure we've all been there, playing against the Spaniards, playing against those Mexicans there. Or I suppose just South Americans. But... I wonder. Usually kind of a detriment to the game. Big game about communication. Can't communicate, or... I mean, at least I can. I can't speak any Spanish. Now, Saturn, his Chaos Ownage is ready to take him on if he ever needs to, though. Very, very easily, actually. A good, easy Cold Snap into Chaos Meteor. Because Weaver is just so... has just such a small amount of health this early on. He's only at 660 at level 8. I mean, that's like a step above starting health, really, when it comes right down to it. And now Kunkka looks like he's going to be going on to Chaos Ownage. Is getting the boat, does miss. Chaos Ownage could probably tackle this pretty easily. I don't know why he hasn't cold snapped him yet. Misses with the meteor, doesn't get him. And with that, it looks like just a wasted opportunity from Chaos Ownage, especially having that invoke ready as well, not to mention. With all of that, opting not to go the Exhort Quas build. Usually you see a lot of Invokers go 4, get a quick 4 in Exhort, and then back it up with a quick 4 in Quas, giving you that really early 2 Flame Elementals, which can be really they just do a huge amount of damage early on, not to mention minusing the armor of people who don't have a lot of armor this early on anyways. Doom, though, does have Phase now, does have Doom available as well. That would just completely shut Invoker down. El Primo Sin Nepe is running around. He does have his Ion Shell, he does have Surge available, and that can be very, very scary. It doesn't matter, though. Doom, of course, Doom, very, very good counter to Timbersaw. Just that one spell completely and utterly shuts him down. At bottom, though, we have Charmander as well as Javijo. Charmander just trying to make sure that his carry gets the farm he needs, and he's not doing too bad. 59. He's not up with Darkseer, obviously. He's not up with Invoker, but he is doing substantially better than Weaver. And Zeus, however, is getting the farm that he wants, but I mean, Zeus is not a particularly farm-dependent hero. You get him maybe a refresher, you get him some survivability, but overall, he isn't like a particularly useful 2 or 1 position, so really you should be looking out for that Weaver or that Kunkka. Kunkka, though, trying to get the boat, does miss entirely. Javijo is here. It looks like Charmander might fall. He does have enough for 1 more heal and a shallow grave if he needs to, but it doesn't do enough damage. And now Zeus running in, and it does indeed get there. That haste being used to good effect did teleport bottom as well. Javijo now popping his rage just to make sure nothing fishy happens. And now the TPs come in. Onage, or Chaos Ownage is here as well. Has an invoke ready. Sunstrike was just used. What will you invoke to? Does go Chaos Meteor, but of course the way invoke works is it pushes out the last invoked one. Of course, this will be a terrific anti-push ability if they ever need to do it. Kind of whiffs it, not the biggest thing, but I mean, El Gordo is gonna fall, and now just looks like Sad Onion is gonna clean this up. Chaos Ownage is there, Zeus is there as well, just getting those shots in. Sad Onion can dive this all day long. He does not have time lapse though, they're making it a slightly bit worrisome, but with Abaddon here giving him shield and heals all day long, he's gonna be fine, just fine. Subclub is here. You shouldn't be this worried about it. He is close to 400, but that's not the end of the world. He'll simply get some help. Javijo will fall, can't get away. There's nothing to infest. And now it just looks like the tides have turned. The Dire team, using the fact that the Radiant team is completely out of position. Everyone chasing him here. Gonna get that easy torrent on him. Maybe a boat as well. Doesn't even matter. Too much burst coming through, and then Charmander thinking he might be able to help. He can't do anything, and with that, the Dire team gets what, like 5-6 kills and a tower easily. Things are not looking good for Team Radiant. Outlast hitting Team Dire does not seem to matter when all you do is farm heroes, and that's fine. If we look at the gold graph, there it is. There's all those dips, and here's that last continuous team fight. As far as experience goes, I suspect it's heavily, there's the last team fight, heavily in favor of Team Dire, with many people dying from the Radiant, and pretty much all of the Dire team was there to get all that experience anyway. February 7th is here, doesn't really matter. Doesn't look like El Gordo's gonna be able to catch him in time, especially, oh, Sunstrike just jukes it, just a smidge, couldn't quite get it, and that's fine, just fine. El Gordo Nepe, and what's your friend called, El Gordo? Can't remember. El Gordo and Sin Nepe. Okay, I think I'm just gonna call El Gordo and Primo, maybe. Hard to say. Overall, though, and now it looks like with this small lull, probably just gonna go back to farming. They know that Weaver obviously has a time lapse available, and with not too much lockdown, I think that's the biggest fault of Team Radiant in this game, is that they don't really have a good way to stun Weaver to ever kill him. You might get a lucky bash if you have a life stealer going. You might get Invoker. You might cold snap him adequately and really have that luck going for you. But overall, I mean, really doesn't seem like they have a way to ever kill Weaver. And just then, I mean, with an invisible El Gordo, would have liked to have seen Chaos Ownage maybe cold snap Zeus. He was a little bit out of position. He probably could have gotten him, especially if it got the cold snap as well as the Sunstrike and popped a meteor as well. I suppose he didn't have cold snap at the moment, but now he is to his cold snap and Chaos Meteor build, which I mean, he's getting up there. He's not a particularly low level. I think he's substantially higher than most other people. And if we check it like that, oh no, is on the same bar with Doom as far as levels going. Those Hands of Midas really helping to get those higher and earlier levels when you are doing this sort of thing. And if you are invoking all you want, you don't care too much about getting the bottle, you don't care too much about killing people all day long and ganking. What you really care about is just running around and having as much experience and as much life as possible. Looks like Darkseer was completely out of position. Of course, Surge is very, very good. It's very, very good way to get away. But if you have Kunkka, that's almost a guaranteed X marks the spot and a torrent. And really, Surge isn't going to be lasting too much longer than that. Not to mention that this Doom, if he wants to, can just doom you and you're doomed to die anyways. Sad Onion not getting the deny on the tower. Mi Primo Sinepe cannot quite reach Weaver just then, but that's a-okay. Chaos Ownage is now doing fine. Javiho, there's not enough detection going on here. Charmander, do you have a sentry? You do indeed. That is your only chance of getting this Weaver, is putting down that detention and having him not quite realize that it's done. Chaos Meteor is available if he wants to farm this lane. Might want to think about throwing it out. You're maxed, just running away, but that's a-okay. Mi Primo El Gordo, looks like he could be caught out. X marks the spot. Gonna get that easy torrent and boat. Can't do a damn thing, and in comes Zeus, getting that as well. Surging away. Might not be able to do it. Was that? Yeah, Zeus ulls himself. Not 100% sure why. Maybe just a little bit scared of Timber, but if anything, it gave Timber more time to actually get to him. So, I mean, kind of a weird play. Maybe a misclick. Might have tried to get Darkseer and then given... that would, of course, have given Zeus a little bit of time to recharge his cooldowns, maybe get another lightning bolt out. Does have ult available, though, which would be very, very nice for him if he can use it to any effect. Weaver has bought Sad Onion, now has his ultimate orb and Perseverance. Not too far away now from getting his Lincolns, thus making him pretty much in this game impossible to kill. Really, Team Radiant just does not have enough lockdown to take away this Weaver. You might want to, like, especially with the Lincolns, you pop the Lincolns with maybe something like Open Wounds, that's fine, but, and then maybe you get a Cold Snap on them, but I mean, you can still time-lapse through Cold Snap. It isn't the longest stuns, and you can't get too many of them. And now it looks like Javiho, they're just trying to get these bugs on him just to give vision, trying to see if they can't see where that's going. They get the Llama. Oh, it's terrific Llama. Has Skullbasher in pops. February 7th, he just wants to look for a Doom target. That's all he wants to do. Seeing if he can't check it out. Wonder if they've noticed these creeps get hurt a little bit. Probably not. But of course, Kunkka is here as well. Very, very scary with that X marks the spot. Pretty much a guaranteed snipe on anybody who gets in the way. Does get Timber with it. Does get the Torrent. Misses, though. Does not get it. Big Chaos Meteor. In pops the boat. Oh, doesn't hit anybody, though. Doom gets caught out. Timber is doomed, and it looks like he's not going to live. Oh, no, he does get healed. Gets healed by Dazzle. Sad Onion is running back, and Team Fire realizes that it's not a very good engagement, but Doom has popped back. Does have Shadow Blade to come in. Doesn't have anything, Rolo. Doesn't have Doom. Javiho doesn't have Infest. Is just trying to get Subclub's life, and the more life he has, the more that Javiho steals, but it doesn't matter. February 7th is here, and now with that, Dazzle and Lifestealer are going to fall. Chaos Ownage does pop the Tornado, though, just to get a little bit of space at the moment. Does not want to get caught up by these 4 heroes. And now Chaos Ownage does not have any sort. Oh, misses his blast. Doesn't matter, though. I don't think that this team is going to have... Yes, they do not. They do not have any detection whatsoever. And with that, you could even hang around here and just guarantee that they would get slowed. But probably not the best idea, obviously, simply because of Zeus and his Lightning Bolt. Would be able to reveal him. Not that there would be anything that they could really do to kill him, simply because they don't have any stuns or anything that reveals it beyond that, but still very, very scary. If Kunkka was here for sure, but that's not the case. Chaos Ownage has made it home now. Is going straight for that Ags as well. Huh, kind of an interesting Invoker bit. Just that early Wex kind of threw me off, and maxing Exhort. I suppose I can kind of understand it, obviously. You get that huge amount of damage from maxing Exhort first, and that really early damage, I suppose, can give you that huge amount of burst, which you could use to great effect early on. But now, it still looks like Team Radiant is playing with, like, not enough detection. I mean, now Doom, they know he has Shadow Blade. Very, very scary. Might want to start centering up all of the ward spots. Sad Onion, of course, is a prime man to have detection for. Subclub is just doing his thing. That's fine. It's fine. But Kunkka, though, is also a hero where people love to pick up Shadow Blade. It's very, very good for Kunkka. But, so you think there'd be maybe more detection on the Radiant side right now. Like, there it is. Sad Onion running in. Yeah, I mean, he does get Whirling Death. Not the biggest thing in the world, though. It doesn't really matter. And now he's just going to run home. Suppose maybe they think that if they do ever have a chance to kill people... Oh, and Lucky Bash does not get one. 3 hits, doesn't get a Lucky Bash. So sad. That was the only chance. Probably, Javiho, usually you don't see a Basher this early on him. He goes Armlet, obviously, because it gives you that ability, as far on Lifestealer, to fight a little bit earlier and be far more relevant, not to mention the ability to Armlet toggle and really try to avoid burst damage or that sort of thing. But I think that Lifestealer has gotten this early Basher simply to try to make sure that they could ever kill Weaver. Because if they do get a Lucky Bash on Weaver, that might be the end of it. It might give them just enough time to burst him down, and so he can't time-lapse away. But now, some interesting stuff. Seeing it, Charmander isn't getting caught out. Oh no, Mi Primo El Gordo is just going to get destroyed. That's fine. Doom falling, or just running right into where that Chaos Meteor fell, but it isn't enough, obviously. And now Mi Primo Sinepe, not sure what he's doing. Looks like he lost control of his hero. Charmander, though, is here. Big deafening blast from Invoker. Very, very hard life for him, though. Is running away, though. Will just barely get out. Pretty close. And with this, it looks like Dire Team is taking a pretty big 20-minute lead. So what used to look like pretty in favor of Team Radiant, as you can see from the last hit, it's still very, very strong, much higher than the Team Dire. I mean, if we look at the gold graph and the experience graph, still in favor for Team Radiant, but that's fine. Oh, now he does have the 2, and Subclub's ult is down. Looks like Chaos does not get it, though, because bunch of squares took him out with the Ul Scepter, and without... Oh, will he be able to get it? It would be just enough damage. Oh, but he's got his shield on. Still was enough to go through. Didn't even matter. And with that, Chaos Ownage is going to get a nice kill for him, getting him that much more closer. About 1 grand away now from getting Ags, and once you have Ags, that's when Invoker can be really, really scary in team fights. Because something that I have learned from playing Invoker, just recently, of course, is a lot of the times it doesn't even matter what spells you use. Obviously, you want to pick which spells you're using based on which essences you have going and orbs you have going. So, you know, you want to be using more Exhort if you got high Exhort, as you usually do, or more Quas if you got high Quas, yada yada. But in a team fight, if you have Ags and you have the mana and the team fight's going on for more than just like a quick pop in and get a kill, then you just want, like, it almost doesn't even matter what spells you use, you just spam everything. And now Timber being completely caught out, gets doomed, there's no chance of him living. And of course you can't even use abilities, or I shouldn't say abilities, can't even use items when you're doomed. So is maybe one saving grace there, if he could avoid the torrent, which of course you're not gonna, and with X mark the spot was maybe TPing away. It's just not even worth mentioning. Excuse me. Bunch of squares now running around. Does get the ults on him after use Surge. That's no good. Misses the torrent, but it doesn't matter. He's going to pop right here. And I don't know how he could get away. Oh, just barely does, but doesn't quite because he's got the urn on him. Sunstrike is here, but he doesn't hit the one he wants. It doesn't matter that Jovijo is running around. Does not have Infest. Should maybe be a bit more scared here. Invoker is here to try and clean him up. Does get the Zeus kill, but Chaos Ownage does not have the mana to run away. He does use his Wander charges. Can Ghost Walk away. Nobody has Dust. Oh, wait. Yes, they do. Kunkka has this Dust. I saw that earlier, but I didn't see it coming. And, of course, Invoker doing the right thing, making sure that he has that, is not invis anymore, as if you are invisible and you are dusted, it makes you move 10% slower. And, obviously, with Ghost Walk going, you're already pretty slow. So it almost doesn't matter what hero you are. If you happen to be invisible and have your invisibility skill going, and you do get dusted, almost unanimously, because, I mean, they can see you anyway when you are dusted, you should almost always just cancel your invisibility through whatever means you possibly can. That might be using an item, that might be using another ability, that might be anything. But usually the best bet is to do that. And now Sad Onion is here. Probably not going to be able to do too much. Reactive armor, of course, very, very strong. As soon as he gets up to that 8 stacks, very, very good. Sad Onion, though, always being looked out for by Subclub. And this combo of Weaver and Abaddon, it just makes Weaver so, so impossible to kill. Not to mention the fact that Team Radiant has pretty much no way to lock him down. A Lucky Bash, maybe. A huge smattering of stuns from Cold Snap, perhaps. And now, a bunch of big items coming out. Kunkka getting his Shadow Blade. You got Doom with Assault Cuirass now. Gonna make him very, very scary. And it looks like he's opting usually to be running with the, what is that? The Alpha Wolf, giving him that crit and that extra damage, which can now be really, really terrifying. But, I mean, Doom with Shadow Blade, Weaver with Sakuchi, Kunkka with Shadow Blade as well. He's not particularly scary yet as far as damage. He hasn't opted to go Battle Fury or anything. But that's A-okay. Now Javijo getting doomed. He can't run away. You got Race Car Doom coming here. Almost 500 there. And now they're chasing after Kunkka. Gonna be hard pressed to get away. He does have Shadow Blade. If he can live through it, he does not though. And now everybody throwing everything just to make sure that he does die. Invoker did pick up his Ags when everybody else got their big items as well, and now you can just throw whatever he wants at him. Did get that level 4 of Quas. You want that to get these Forge Spirits out, because they are very, very scary. Having 2 of them out and then Cold Snapping 1 person and just sicking them on them almost guarantees that every single possibility, or every single possible proc of Cold Snap does get triggered. And now Chaos Owner's realizing that he needs that gem, because there's just so much invisibility going on in the opposing team. 2 Shadow Blades and a Weaver. Very, very, very good pickup. But now with this, and if Invoker can be in almost every team fight, or, you know, relatively relevant in that regard, then it's almost as if they're fighting and the invisibility doesn't even matter, really, when it comes right down to it. Sad Onion is almost at a Desolator. Very, very close. Only 400 more gold, I would say. 350, I think. I think it's 900 to get a Deso. Doom, though, farming very, very nicely. Last hits are still looking pretty good. If we look at the gold graph, it's now in favor of Dire, but look a little bit of equalization coming out of Team Radiant in the last sec there. And as far as experience goes, though, it is just so heavily in favor of the Dire team that it's getting a little bit out of hand. Chaos Owners is here, though. Does have... Oh, is going to get boated. Abaddon is here. It's not... Oh, but of course you have to factor in the Zeus ult, and it is just enough damage to get him. Looks like Timbersaw didn't realize the gem was there. Did pick it up, though. Wants to run away. Abaddon, though, does pop his ult. And now a little bit of funny X marks the spot type of action. Can go invis. Doesn't matter, though. Timber has that gem. And now he realizes that February 7th is there. And he makes sure he doesn't want to let that gem fall. Of course, being doomed as Timber is just the worst experience of your life. You can't do anything the whole time. You can't escape. You can't contribute anything to fights. Only thing you can do is if your chakram's out, you can just let your mana disappear. Sad Onion, though, now does have his Deso out and is going to be all the more scary. Now, of course, Team Radiant still pretty much can't kill him ever. Wants to see if he's going to go in for this. Javijo is here. Could get a Lucky Bash. Probably not going to happen, though. Looks like Javijo is going to be picking up... Oh, did get a Bash. Didn't matter, though. Lifestealer, more likely not going to turn this Songe into a Heaven's Halberd. Sometimes you see a... No, I'm wrong. Sometimes you see a Sange and Yasha. Maybe if you want to go a little more race card Lifestealer, make him all the faster, make him attacks faster, all that. But, I mean, Heaven's Halberd wouldn't be too bad, especially against Weaver. Stop him attacking for 3.5 seconds. Obviously, very, very big chunk of their damage would disappear just then. Oh, excuse me, everybody. Doom, though, is farming all day long. If we look at the levels, though, Doom's way ahead, and, you know, pretty actually even smattering of levels between both teams, so it's not really the end of the world. As far as current gold goes, though, doesn't matter as well. And if we're looking at GPM, though, I bet Doom is right at top. Oh, yeah, Invoker holding his own, though, and everything is fine, just fine. Invoker, or Doom running around completely invis, just trying to farm the Radiant jungle, see if they can't do any of that. And now, oh, yeah, there we go. Using the grab the screen function rather than just hitting the sides, making it a little bit smoother. But now we do have an engagement going on middle. Nothing too bad happening. Sad Onion not even having to use time-lapse, just popping away, and that's all that she wrote. But in the meantime, let's just look at the last hits again and denies. Things are going fine, just fine. Not sure where that Sunstrike is landing, and that's A-okay. Doesn't look like it really mattered. Anyway, might have hit Kunkka. It doesn't really matter. He's doing fine, just fine. Looks like they want to go for a Roche. Not sure if this is really the best move. Obviously, though, Invoker is here and does have very, very good AoE capabilities. The Gem of True Sight is there as well. They do not have any actual vision around here, though, which can be pretty scary. Chaos Orange actually opting to go up here himself in case he ever needs to use anything. Throws out a Tornado, throws out a Chaos Meteor as well. Does pop a Deafening Blast, making sure he hits Subclub, but that's it. Not really enough. Charmander is here, trying to save a Shallow Grave for somebody, and just the Radiant team is just completely melting. Charmander will not be able to get away. Maybe if he had a TP, he could cast that and then go, but beyond that, it's not too much. And with that, almost an entire team wipe of the Radiant team and giving up a free Roche. It is definitely not looking good for them. And now with that, I'm sure just the swing even more in favor for Team Dire. They're doing fine, just fine. Especially with this Doom, he has so much armor that Lifestealer isn't going to really be touching him. Can't really do too much to him. So they have to rely on pretty much magic damage, and Doom, if he doesn't have armor, obviously, he's what a lot of people consider a fluffy hero, you know, a fluffy hero, where he's got a lot of life, but he doesn't have any armor to protect him, so he's just like this big meat tank. Oh, big, oh, look at that combo. A little bit mistimed, but I mean, still gets Doom right away. Popping Subclub's ult as well, and now they're just running for their very lives. Timbersaw is here, just doing what he can, but overall, nothing too much. Chaos Orange is here, did pop Sad Onion's Lincoln, so now they might have a chance if Javiho can get him, but it doesn't matter because he gets old right away. The Zeus ult is going to be coming off cooldown, did get Ags, in fact, so that Zeus ult is going to be hitting for a little bit. Chaos Orange now running all over the place, seeing if he can't get him, does have Tornado available, wants to do a combo, doing the EMP combo instead though, but Kunkka comes from behind, gets these big hits and just decimating the team. Comes back. Invoker, though, wants to be here for the team fight. Javiho getting completely caught out. Did not have Infest. Nobody was there to actually do it. He has Deafening Blast. He wants to pop it, but it looks like he's just setting up for a good defense, getting that Ice Wall, and getting those, what are they, Forge Elementals, I want to say. Forge Spirit. There we are. Oh, big hit. Almost kills Sad Onion for once. Doesn't land it, though. And now Kunkka running around. Zeus has ulted him up. Doesn't matter. Oh, Sad Onion just getting away. Did get the time-lapse available. Kunkka did die. Looks like Me Primo did get him. And with that, Invoker has not fallen. All of the cold snaps hitting him. These Darkseer illusions are doing their job. Doom is running around, though. And now, let's see. There is no gem. He is here. If he can catch up to him, that is a guaranteed death. And he has caught up to him. There's no way he's getting away. Is here as well. Might have second thought doing that. Second guessed himself doing that. But no, February 7th will not get away. And now, that should swing at least a little bit back in the favor. Oh, look at that little dip. That little swing back up for Team Radiant right there. Sad Onion porting back. Does have a lot of gold available. 3,500 at his disposal. Going to be given that early Sunstrike just to maybe pressure him a bit, maybe force him to get a time-lapse. He does not have the best regen in the world. I mean, it's quite good. But now with Subclub here, using that mech, constantly using Mist Coil on him, he's going to be back up to full health very, very quickly. Mi Primo Sin Nepe. He's got his Bloodstone. Pretty much an infinite amount of mana for Timber, and that's as much mana as you ever really need. Makes farming with him really, really easy, especially flash farming. And now Weaver, of course, that Aegis is going to be reclaimed within 3 minutes. I'm sure he wants to use it before then. Maybe push in, get to this bottom tower, or even pretty much get any of the towers available to him. Javiho, the Lifestealer. I mean, does have his Basher, does have Sange and Yasha. Usually I like to see him with Armlet. It just gives him so much damage and survivability. And kind of interesting that you don't see that. See, that's what you can't. Oh, you can. Something I forgot. You can actually disassemble Sange and Yasha. So if he wants to, he can, with this Talisman of Evasion, disassemble this to get his Yasha, which of course is still very, very good on Lifestealer, and can go Heaven's Halberd, which, I mean, kind of surprised he didn't do that originally, in all honesty, just because it would stop Weaver for so long. or at the very least force Weaver to use a time lapse when it wouldn't be the best option. Char Charmander completely doomed, gets caught in between a Kunkka Doom sandwich. Not the best filling to be in that one. You got Mi Primo El Gordo Nepe pushing bot though. It looks like they're trying to do that splish put up a little bit. And he has opted to get the Agnims on Darkseer, opting not to go for anything like a mech. Has gotten Force Staff and Ags. Really going for the long haul, realizing that the other team's heroes are very, very strong. Not to mention the fact that as soon as you do have a wall of replica down, you can get all of the auras of the opposing team. That means Doom's Assault Cuirass completely cancels out the opposing Assault Cuirass as well. Abaddon looks like he's got disconnect from the game. Gonna be a pause right there. I don't think that illusions created by Wall of Replica actually have unique attack modifiers, so I'm pretty sure that Weaver illusion will not have the armor reduction that Desolator provides. But I mean, Weaver now with 5,000 gold in the bank. Of course he has buyback, and if we look at the current gold, he is just miles ahead of everybody. Not sure exactly what he's going to be building with that huge amount of money. Let's get away from this, just because I don't want to hear that spinny noise too much. But it's fine. Looks like people don't want to wait. Invoker doesn't want to wait for this Abaddon. February 7th is thinking that's a little bit of bad manners, obviously. Which, I mean, it can be, but at the same time, you don't want to be waiting too long. So it's always a toss-up. Hard to say, though. But if we just look at everybody's items now, let's give it a gander. Seriously, I have 4 Russians. They're not all Russians. Clearly, at least 2 of them are Spanish. Oh ho, a little bit of trash talk coming out from Sad Onion. But anyways, it comes right down to it. Kunkka, a little bit far behind. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with his Claymore. Usually you get Claymore into Shadowblade, obviously, because that's how it works. But I mean, I guess he's going to be going for that Battle Fury. Really wants those huge cleaves. Some people really like Battle Fury on Kunkka. It used to be, I remember in Dota 1, you'd just go like boots and then 3 Battle Furies on Kunkka, and you just try to one-shot entire teams. You wouldn't even care about getting crits or dataless or what have you. And that was like a particular playstyle that a lot of people used. But back then in Dota 1, for anybody who never actually played it and has only been playing Dota 2, people were a lot worse back then. I think back to how I was there. He already has his Battle Fury. There it is, picking it up. I think back to how I used to play in Dota 1 and just how much worse you were in Dota 1 compared to Dota 2, because there was never any matchmaking. You just got onto each game and hoped that your teammates were good and that you played well, and that was it. And then there wasn't really a penalty for missing out or for quitting games, so it wasn't a huge deal really. So you had really inconsistent games. You had giant stomps one game, and then you had really good ones the next, and you could never really get a good barometer of exactly where you were in the entire game, unless you played in in-house leagues and that sort of stuff. But for the vast majority of people who did play Dota 1, that wasn't really an option, or at the very least, they just never looked into it. I know I didn't, but it has been a very long time since then. Dust of Appearance and Oblivion Staff sitting at base. With that Oblivion Staff, I suspect that is Zeus's, and he's going to be trying to eventually get a refresher, because of course, who doesn't like refresher Ags on Zeus? It looks like what have you bought, Sad Onion, with your current goal? Is opting to buy a heart, and I think he'll have it. I mean, it says he's got 200 left. He does indeed have a heart, running all the way home. Very scary on Weaver, honestly. I suppose. I mean, a very nice pickup by him, considering what Radiant team has available to them. They do have a bit of burst now, which can be very scary. But I mean, of course, Heart of Tarrasque is amazing for sustained team fights. All you do is run around and get away from the get away from the fight for about 10 seconds, which of course is very easy to do as Weaver, and you come back and you have full health, roughly. You have a much better time. So, but like I was saying, Radiant team does not really have the lockdown necessary to really kill Sad Onion. And with his heart, they especially do not have the lockdown. Especially if he does try to get burst down from 2,700 life, and he simply time lapse. That's pretty much all the burst that the Radiant team has for the entire fight. Javi here looks like he's trying to. Oh, just waiting for his Hand of Midas to go off cooldown. There it is, and using that and seeing what he can't get. Doom now with plus 30 armor. This Lifestealer isn't going to be doing a damn thing to him anytime soon. Does have Shivas, has Assault Cuirass as well. Pretty much, it's just everything's going to be slowed around him as well. It's not going to be a good day to be Lifestealer, honestly, not at all. And if we look at the experience, or no wait, that's the gold graph and the experience graph. Everything's just kind of evening out now. Both teams opting not to go fight each other. No big swings happening at all. And really just being a little bit of a farm fest at the moment. And that's A-okay. Taking this downtime, everybody trying to get up to the next big item, it looks like. Kunkka did get his Battle Fury, of course, going to let him farm a little bit more. Looks like Doom running around. Not sure what he's going to build up to now, though. It doesn't really matter. Timber, though, is like, he's got what he wants. He has Shivas with reactive armor, is just so much armor if he ever needs it. Has his Bloodstone, so he's got infinite mana. And only actually has white, or brown boots, which, for anybody who doesn't know, what you usually do as Timber is you get your early arcanes so that you have a really strong mid-game. And then with that early mid-game, or with that strong mid-game and your huge amount of pure burst that you can dole out to a lot of people, you use that, and you use your blue boots, your mana boots. Okay, I'll shut up right now. Charmander almost getting caught out. Does indeed. That big Zeus ult getting him. And now, it looks like Timber, though, getting caught out as well. Won't be able to survive this one. The Shiva's Guard does indeed get him, and with that, the Gem of True Sight does fall. Gonna be very scary. Now, it looks like Zeus picks it up, and now Team Dire, though, running all the way down, seeing if they can't maybe pick off Invoker if he was running down that way, or Darkseer as well. Very easy engagement for Team Dire at the moment. And it is only 4 versus 5, honestly. Abaddon wasn't even there providing any backup. Sad Onion will just tank this tower very easily with the heart as well. But like I was saying, you get arcane boots on Timber, and you can actually disassemble them. So instead of waiting to get an extra... Man, the boat cooldown is just so low. But I mean, Kunkka will fall. The entire Dire team getting very hurt, though. Invoker, though, using that Deafening Blast very strongly, and puts Alacrity on probably the worst hero to receive it. One who half the time in a team fight can't even attack because of his ult. But that's A-okay. Chaos Owner's now opting to... Looks like he's going to be going Sheepstick, as you usually do. That's usually what you want to get, especially now. With a Sheepstick, Sad Onion would be killable. Like, there's a possibility of it there. Lifestealer, have you got the Halberd yet? Is actually opting to go Butterfly. Oddly enough. Maybe thinking that is the only way he's going to be able to live from Sad Onion. But, I mean, a Heart would have maybe been better as well. Doing a little bit of damage to this Zeus. Doesn't really matter, though. He's just going to run home. Probably enough to scare him, though. I mean, usually if you see a stun strike, you're very worried about other people coming back. Abaddon now has officially left the game. And this is one of those times when you feel very right in the fact that you didn't wait. Because if you had paused it and let it pause, and just that would have just been 5 minutes at least of just waiting with absolutely nothing happening. So now, this is when you feel kind of good about your idea to not let it drop. Now opting to use does still get hit by it. It isn't enough. Man, I'm getting caught up in my words just a little bit tonight. But Doom now does have about 3,700 in the bank. Abaddon now they will use them, though. If anybody is a micro king who wants to no-tail this guy and just use it to best all the effect that they can. Kunkka now just farming top as best he can. Javiho now does have a Butterfly. Kind of an odd pickup, considering that I suspect Sad Onion, this Weaver, will have the farm necessary to get an MKB if he ever wants one. So, I mean, not sure how I feel about that pickup. I think I'm still really into that Heaven's Halberd, honestly. It gives you lots of strength, which is obviously is more damage. I mean, the Butterfly is good and all in Lifestealer. It gives him more armor, evasion, damage, attack speed. But it's just like a really odd item on Lifestealer. Usually you see him get strength, obviously, because agility is not his main attribute. It's not giving him as much as if he were a agility hero. And now Roshan attacking so slow from Freezing Aura, from Curse of Avernus. God, those things combined are just a really hard time for him. And now, it looks like Invoker just throwing everything he possibly has at him. Roshan is still alive. They still have a chance to actually get this. and Darkseer throwing down his ult as well. These little illusions just do so much damage to people. Sad Onion, though, is chasing Invoker. Does he have the gem? He does not. He might be able to follow him around knowing just where Ghostwalk is, and it looks now like Mi Primo Sin Nepe is looking to get that steal if he can. Invoker, though, trying to make sure that he's not there. Subclub, his ult isn't down, and he is going to fall for that. Sad Onion does get the Aegis, though, and now Mi Primo Sin Nepe really needs to try to run away. Does get conked, does indeed, but that huge Timber Chain just gets to run away. He doesn't have a TP getaway, and now Gemini attack is always going to follow you. And now let's see if he can juke away. Does not, and actually uses his Bloodstone. It's the first time I've ever actually seen it used in any game. I personally never use it. I always forget, and I'm sure everybody else does too. But that was absolutely lovely. God, you never see that nowadays. A little bit of a bump. Has Chaos Ownage actually not getting a Sheepstick? Has opted to get a Lincoln Sphere. Not sure how I feel about that. Obviously, very, very good. More likely not getting it simply to block Doom. If Doom does try to get you with Lincoln Sphere, it's a completely wasted ult. And not to mention that Doom is pretty much the bane of Invoker. Stops him from doing everything. He's just out of commission for, how long is Doom? Like 20 seconds? 15 seconds? Just stops him from being in any team fight for 15 seconds. And now it looks like Darkseer may be getting caught out a bit. Does indeed. He does have his wall up if he needs to. Shouldn't, like, he doesn't want to use it though, of course. And with that, all these guys are so low. Timber now does have a Blade Mail, gonna make it a little bit scarier for Kunkka just to swing wildly. Sad Onion is here, getting that EMP and Tornado combo. Does not get the Chaos Meteor, though. A little bit of a waste. Sad Onion is going to be able to get away. All the while, though, you have Doom up here pushing top tower. Or he did Boots of Travel in. Doesn't matter, though. Those creeps alone will be enough to clear this up. Mi Primo, Supremo, February 7th does get in. Does Doom him. Will he be able to get away? He does indeed. Bloodstone has the longest cooldown of anything in this whole game. Javijo does not have the life to sustain this at all. Oddly enough, has gotten a Morbid Mask. You never see this. It seems completely unnecessary. But now Timbersaw has died to Doom. Doesn't matter though. And with this, Dire Team is being very, very scary. Doom now also picking up a Heaven's Halberd. Very, very scary. Plus 20 strength. Gives them all the more health in the world. And Zeus doing fine. Does have that refresher. Very, very scary. Sad Onion is here. Has MKB. And with that, I just think, oh my god. That is such a long time to be disabled where you can't attack. Deafening Blast. And 4 versus 5, he is right. 4 versus 5, well, for the most part. And they are just doing very, very well. Kunkka, of course, is very strong. It's up to 7,500 in the bank if he ever needs to. Of course, because he has left, everybody is getting that extra gold as well. Zeus is doing fine, just fine. Sad Onion has just been doing swell all game long. They still have a chance, of course. I don't want to say this is the end just yet, but things are looking heavily in favor. 25,000 extra gold from the Dire Team. About 35,000 extra gold from, or 35,000 extra experience on the Dire side as well. Javihu can't even get away. He's infesting, has to do that. Although big combos from this Invoker right now. Deafening Blast and Chaos Meteor wasn't even enough, though, really, to do anything. Subclub is here just fine. Still has his ult, if available. Does, and it's off cooldown. Doesn't matter. And it looks like they got an Abaddon and a Kunkka. Zeus opting to pop his double ult just then. See if he couldn't quite get the kill. And not quite a Geminate attack. If he had one, it might have been enough. Javiho does get a nice lucky stun on him. Will it be enough, though? Sad Onion is here. Does get away. Do they have a gem available? I'm not sure if they still have it. Does get it. And now Sad Onion is getting cold snapped all day long. He can't quite get away. Still has Aegis, though. And with that, he's just going to run around. He's going to be chasing Mi Supremo. Does get hit, but doesn't matter, because he has that Aegis. Sunstrike going to fall a little bit too early. Not the end of the world. They couldn't kill him even if they wanted to. Kunkka, of course, buying back and opting to get Boots of Travel on himself with all of that 7,000 gold he had. Doom now 2,800 life, 36 armor. Heaven's Halberd to disable anyone he wants. Maybe Lifestealer. Really depends. Darkseer, though, getting caught out. Ooh, Force Staffs himself away very nicely. Also has a Heaven's Halberd to deal with Weaver, or pretty much anybody he wants. Sad Onion, though, should really be running up and trying to Force Staff him. Although Sad Onion now killing himself on of Timbersaw. It doesn't really matter, opting not to go for the whole thing. February 7th was here and did try to doom Chaos Owners, did not quite get him. And this is a terrible position to be in when you are Invoker. When, even though you have max almost everything, you're level 23, you feel that your spells just don't even do everything. That's the saddest thing. When you have a Weaver with 3,000 HP, you get a full combo off on the Weaver, and you still don't even think that you can kill him. That is the worst feeling when you are an Invoker. Now, he's going to get boated. Nope, just gets double force-staffed away. Ping-ponging around his building just a little bit. Of course, February 7th and Tears, look at that. Gets, like, I mean, as perfect a combo as you possibly can. Doesn't even flinch, February 7th. Not even caring. Does fall, though, being a little bit too ballsy. It doesn't matter, those super creeps are here. Kunkka, all the while, is killing the throne. And with that, it's hard to say. I don't know. This one, it's pretty close. You gotta protect your ancient, guys. You gotta protect your ancient. Is anybody there? Darkseer is here. They gotta kill it. They do still have 2 catapults, though, going to town on it. They really gotta take care of these catapults if they ever want to. But, I mean, with that, Lifestealer does fall. And I think that's it. That's definitely a game. And there you have it. Good 51-minute game. Thank you so much. I think that was brought to you by KatanaSoul. Thank you, everyone, for watching. That one was way less rusty. Got way more of the cobwebs out in this cast compared to that first one. If you want to see just how freakishly bad I was in the old one, just go to that last cast for the first Dota 2 subreddit one. And so thanks everybody for watching. This has been Briefcase bringing you a Dota2Castit subreddit game for, I believe, Soul Katana? I'll see you next time.